for the playing of our national anthem. Good sportsmanship athletes, coaches, and spectators. We ask your cooperation in supporting the
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome in to Bridgewater Ice Arena, where we bring you the second game of our hockey doubleheader. And this afternoon, we are set to bring you action between the Lindenwood Lions and the Stonehill Skyhawks. Hello, welcome in. My name is Brendan Locke. We are on Skyhawk Vision on necfrontrow.com. And after a tough showing last night from the Skyhawks, they'll look to bounce back and get a little bit of momentum heading into the final phase of the year. We are just about set to get underway. This afternoon, starting goalies for Lindenwood, Trent Burnham out of Eagle River, Alaska, and the Sioux Falls Stampede. And for the Skyhawks, Dylan Milan, the sophomore out of Morden, Manitoba, the Wisconsin Superior transfer. Lindenwood moving left to right in the all-black unis with gold trim. Stonehill in the home whites with purple pants, purple helmets, and silver trim. And we are underway. That gets sent directly in, and it will be an icing 9 seconds into the game. As we mentioned, it was a 10-1 final last night. That ended in a bit of a scuffle, so there were some ejections, but everyone back playing tonight. This is Tripp walking the line. His drive, no issue for Burnham. Another offensive zone draw for the Skyhawks, and they win. There's a drive directly into the number one on Burnham's chest. That was a look at the drive from Ireland, and for the third time we had an offensive zone draw, but this time Lindenwood able to control, and Sturzer gaining the line, flipping that in, Tripp back to retrieve it. Tried to bank it up to Ireland and able to come through with speed as Schreifels down the right wing. His shot couldn't get through the traffic of Yakimachuk. There's a drive from Ireland that hit the side of the net, and Lindenwood will settle it down and get it going the other way. This is Augie, who gave it up to Prouty, but Sturzer is off sides. Lindenwood up to 6-15-4 on the year. In the same place as Stonehill, second year of Division I hockey. And Stonehill will look to break out. Gaudette will settle things down and play to his D partner. A failed breakout pass there by Terteshny. Gaudette back to retrieve. Terteshny again unable to break it out. Bouncing puck eventually settled, but only as far as Rushinsky. And Conquest centering pass in the middle that bounced off of Kuzma's stick. And back out to Rushinsky. Conquest eventually able to gouge that free. He had Wilkie in the middle. That puck took a weird hop off of the boards. And eventually able to gain the line was Galante, but Wilkie broke that up. Conquest gains the line, leaving it there for Price, cutting to the middle. Japchin knocked him off the puck, and chasing this now is Rons. He'll go around the world and try to drag away from Karlstrom. His pass missed, and Price will retreat back behind his own net. Caleb Price gaining the line, dumping that in. Southgate's the first to it. He collided in the corner with Karlstrom. It ends up with Price at the point. Shot looking for a tip, couldn't get through the traffic. Prouty was able to keep it in, eventually poked away there by Pineo. And Price fanned on his clear-out pass. Gagnon gives it over to Mercier, and Mercier will pivot away, unable to get a shot off. Tripp had it gouged out by Southgate. Southgate able to keep things in, looking backdoor for Gagnon, but unable to. Pineo looked for a breakout pass out to Ronayne, but couldn't. And eventually able to settle things down as Japchen spinning away from the pressure, and he'll carry it himself. Pass read really well there by number 15, Prouty. And Prouty gains the line and goes with a cross-corner dump in. Mannion looking to get things going the other way, eventually able to go glassing out, losing an edge right in front of us. That was Schmeidlin. And Jeffers with a drive, blockered away by Milan. King along the left wing. He's got Schweniger with him. Schweniger is able to help it along to the near corner, but it got picked up there by Jeffers. Jeffers tried to send it up to Aller, able to get a stick on it, so icing's waved off. And Jeffers is able to keep that puck in, but breaking that up was Mannion and sending it up into the bench, so we'll have a neutral zone face-off with 16:01 on the clock. Offensive zone draw won by the Lions. Streifels knocked Rushinsky off of the puck. And a centering pass out in front, met there by Milan. That was a streaking Sturzner, who had a chance to slam it home. He was unable to. Offensive zone, I see volume. Sturzner able to keep that puck in, and he'll take it behind the net, finding his D partner Anderson, but poking that frees Ireland. Potential 2-on-1 for the Skyhawks, and gloved there by Burnham. That was a drive from Ireland as he gained the line, and from the bottom of the circle, probably the best chance we've seen for the Skyhawks over the 64 minutes that we've seen in the past 2 days. Ron's able to break that out. Conquest streaking down the left wing, button hooks and finds Price. who tried to spin away there from Hastings, but Kuzma there to support him and pick that puck up behind the net. Kuzma colliding with the ref, was Wilkie. And eventually up to Rons, who plays D-to-D with Price. That shot unable to get through traffic. Wilkie at the top of the circle looks for an option. He'll walk the line and switch with Rons, who he gives it to, looking backdoor for Conquest, and that shot unable to get through traffic. Conquest along the far boards, drags away from the traffic, and a long shot. Puck is loose in front, covered there by Milan. Head coach Rick Zombo for the Lindenwood Rams played 12 years in the NHL. This is his 10th season. Helped the school get through the transition from ACHA to Division I. 4 ACHA national championships for Zombo, along with, as a player, a national championship at the University of North Dakota. Price able to corral that lofted puck out. Conquest able to chip it by, so icing waved off. Davies looking to move quickly, sends it directly up to Tripp, and Schreifels kind of tried to lay it back off for Davies, but Prouty now. Looking for a stretch with Southgate. Southgate able to gain the line. Gagnon behind the net. Here's Gagnon at the top of the circle. His drive gloved by Milan. Both of these teams eligible for the postseason in the 26-27 season. In the midst of the transition from Division 1 to from Division 3 to Division 1. And the faceoff goes all the way back down behind the Lindenwood net, and Prouty tried to get it up to Gagnon. Mercier down the right wing. He'll rim it around, trying to set up Southgate. It got banked up and eventually cleared by LaRusso. Anderson, one of those players that was kicked out in the final 5 minutes. He's back on the ice for his first shift of the afternoon. That's through the neutral zone to Hastings. He tried to bank it to Schreifels. Icing waved off. Back to retrieve it is Rashinsky. That got slapped in by Ireland. Rashinsky back to retrieve it. He left it for his D partner Anderson. And Gagnon on the forehand, spinning away from the pressure. Eventually kicked away by Schreifels. And Ron's back in his own end. Will wait for his forwards to change and get some attack going. But his pass got kicked away in the neutral zone, and Stonehill looking to get things going. Karlstrom will send it directly in, and Schreifel's the first man to it for Stonehill, but it skidded through him. Ron's eventually able to bank it by, finding Allard. And Karlstrom tried to break it out. It took a weird hop off of the boards. Looking to play it quickly. He's able to find... Burnham was able to find Prouty, but it's an icing. Offensive zone draw for the Skyhawks. That is one, and another save for Burnham. Schwenniger to take against Kuzma. That puck knocked up into the visitors' bench, and we'll have another whistle. Stonehill's looked better through the first 8 minutes. 12:08 on the clock. A little more comfortable. Lindenwood able to gain the line and flip it in. Augie grabbed that. Mannion unable to clear the zone. Augie tried to keep it in. It's a stretch pass to Pinio. He's able to find Ronayne, who spins it around. And providing the pressure there is Pinio, playing alongside Kyle Heath. And able to knock off the puck was Ronayne. Augie there trying to gouge it free, as was Sturzer. Heath flips it in, chasing after his own dump in. Price trying to get things going for the Lions. And Price gets brought down, and that will be a penalty. And Lindenwood will go a man up. Carrying this through the neutral zone is Kuzma. He gains the line. And that will be a penalty on LaRusso. Price streaking away from LaRusso in his own end. And LaRusso just got his stick caught in somewhere that it shouldn't be. And easy call for the referee right in front of him. So, Lindenwood to the power play. They were 1 for 3 last night. And converting at 11 for 73 on the year at a cool 15% for the Lions. Stonehill penalty kill not much better at killing at a rate of 70%, as they're able to get 2 early clears. 30 seconds gone in the LaRusso tripping call. And here comes Caleb Price laying that off for Southgate along the left wing. That gets sent up into the ceiling, and we'll have a whistle with 10:03. And that is won and controlled by Yamachuk. Eventually, Karlstrom was able to settle it down, unable to clear the zone. Augie playing it up to Yamachuk, and Zielke cutting to the middle with Gagnon on the right wing. Blocked there by Mannion. Zielke playing a 1-2. Cutting to the middle, eventually finding Zielke. Gagnon tried to step onto that puck. It got kept in there by Yakimichuk. Zielke looking back down low for Gagnon. Attempted to get rimmed out. Kept in again by Yakimichuk. 25 seconds remaining on the power play, but no real chances for the Lions just yet. Yakimichuk, his pass got intercepted and eventually cleared. Looking to move quickly, Gagnon, he got knocked off the puck. And Hastings sent it in, and that will do it for the LaRusso tripping call. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Rons gains the line with speed, dropping it for Conquest. Conquest tried to shake free from Roy Nain. And Price, Lindenwood bench wanted a hooking call there. And eventually falling to Hastings. He's got King with him. Hastings gains the line, but it gets whistled for offsides. We will take a short time out and be back in about a minute. 0-0 through 12 minutes thus far.
At Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine, you'll find sports medicine care driven by research and determination. Top specialists who understand your athletic dreams, goals, and the need to get back to them. Together, we'll write your comeback story. Start your comeback story today.
At Stonehill College, an education is more than a degree. It's a source of positive change. Change that helps students develop into compassionate leaders. Leaders with strong minds and even stronger hearts, driving the changes that are coming and making sure no one is left behind. Strong minds, stronger hearts. That's what defines a Stonehill education.
And welcome back to NCAA hockey on Skyhawk Vision on NECFrontRow.com. My name is Brendan Locke. We are scoreless through 12 minutes of hockey thus far. Stonehill Hawks playing much better in this game. Skyhawks, playing much better in this game, as getting held up behind the play was Schweiniger, not Schreifels. He got tied up with Rushinsky, but right in front of the ref, no call made, and it will be Schweiniger did get taken down and behind the net. The ref was right in front, let everything go. So no mistakes were made on his part. In his eyes, I should say. Kuzma and Schweiniger to take the face-off. Won by Kuzma. Over to Rushinsky. His drive hit the side of the net. Tertishny tried to backhand it out. Got kept in by Anderson and sent directly into the ceiling. A lot of pucks at this ceiling. Heath against Kuzma. And Stonehill able to clear. Rushinsky back to grab that. And the Montreal Canadiens draft pick of the 7th round unable to get anything going, and that will be an icing. Offensive zone face-off for the Skyhawks. Here is Rushinsky dropping it off. He got met at the red line and eventually back out to Anderson. Anderson with speed sends that in. Japchin along the far boards, able to flip it out. Settling it off of his stick was Galante. In the neutral zone, Zielke and Galante meet, but Zielke able to win that battle, and Yakimichuk with the cross corner dump in trip to retrieve that. And a bad backhanded attempt from him ends up on the stick of Sturzer. Eventually slapped out by Ronayne, but directly over to Prouty as two players stuck in, but icing offsides eventually waved off. Lindenwood able to tag up. That pass was broken up in the neutral zone and a bad turnover there. Sturzner gave it in the middle looking. That was a pass across by Augie. And racing to this now is Hastings, potential 2-on-1. He's got Pineo in the middle and he missed the net. Karlstrom turnaround drive off the mask of Burnham. Another good chance for the Skyhawks, unable to convert, but much better play through the first 14 minutes that we have seen compared to last night. Karlstrom banked that along, and along the near corner, Allard's able to gouge that free. Ron's back up to Allard, bounced over Jeffers' stick, and Mannion will go and grab that. 5:45 on the clock. Schweniger helped that along to LaRusso, who was able to get it in the corner. King ran into the referee. It got sent into the Stonehill end. Gaudette was waiting for it, and unable to break out of the Stonehill end was Karlstrom. Allard chasing after that with Gaudette. Gaudette uses his body well to get away from the pressure, but Jeffers ends up with it. Allard along the near board, sent up to Prouty. It bounced off of his stick. Cam Gaudette, the Northeastern transfer. Schweniger gains the line along the left wing. He tried the backhand no-look pass for LaRusso. That didn't get through. LaRusso with a turnaround drive that missed the net. Stepping down is Terteshny. Except Terteshny, the defenseman, is 1-on-5. Potential break for the Lions the other way. Mercier was able to gain the line. He got it poked away by Gaudette, and Terteshny back behind his own net will carry. Stretch pass looking for Ireland, couldn't connect. Mercier gains the line and flips it directly back in. Spin around. Terteshny able to break it out. And Mercier backhanded along for Southgate. Him and Gaudette collided with a little pushing and shoving. Ireland tried to backhand it along for Heath. And it looked like he thought about the long stretch pass was Milam. That got rimmed around for Hastings and snapped up to Davies, who sent that directly in, and Price and Ireland meet there. Getting tripped up was Ireland. Tripp cuts to the middle, looks for an option, and he got it poked away. Tripp able to keep it in, but Conquest with it through the neutral zone, pulls up and finds Price at the top of the circle. Shot looking for a tip. Nearly got through the traffic. Opposite corner stretch pass, and out to play that is Burnham with icing waved off. Lions looking to move quickly. Galante. Conquest sends that up. And Prouty to play it in his own end. Prouty along the right wing, getting harassed there by Schweniger. Yakinchuk plays that down low. And a nice hit there by Karlstrom along the boards. Karlstrom trying to spin away. Zielke spinning away from the pressure of Japchin. Centering pass, Sturzer. And back up to Yakimchuk. Prouty playing D-to-D with Yakimchuk. That gets sent in the corner. Yakimchuk couldn't keep it in his own end, or in the offensive zone, excuse me. Augie able to flip that in on his backhand. Terteshny to grab that, but it bounced off of Ronayne's stick. And a chance for the Lions the other way. Anderson trying to step down on defense. Potential 2-on-1 the other way, but coming fresh off of the bench was Jeffers. Centering pass looking for Heath in the middle. Couldn't connect, and coming back the other way now is Sturzer. He's got Jeffers laying it off. Allard with a drive, and that got sent up into the netting. Offensive zone draw won by Stonehill. And looking for his winger was King, but his winger was nowhere to be found. Anderson couldn't handle that. Eventually able to settle it down. He sends that in. Back to play it is Milan. 1:30 remaining on the clock. And Tripp tried to jump up into the play, but he got knocked down. Allard tried to drag free. He got knocked away by Tripp, sent up to Price, who banked it down low for Schmeidlin. Schmeidlin cutting to the middle. Tried to get it over to Rons, but was unable to. And looking to move quickly now, this is Frazier. Frazier cuts to the middle, leaves it for Price, and a nice block there by Japchin. Gets a rise out of the Stonehill bench. 1 minute remaining in the period. Schweniger tried to get it up to Schreifels. It fell to Ireland. Potential 2-on-1 the other way. Ireland with a drive, and he missed the net. Schweniger back over to Japchan. 40 seconds left. Directly up to Prouty. Gagnon tried to bank it along with a little self-pass. Playing the body there was Karlstrom. Eventually gouged free by Southgate. The opposite 21. Centering pass in front. Got knocked away by Milan. Yakimchuk. Centering pass looking in the middle. Broken up there by Heath. Heath just looking to clear the zone with 10 seconds left. But Ireland races to that. Ireland down the right wing. Cutting to the middle. And there to pick him up is Schreifels. Schreifels got taken down. And that will do it for the first period. An up and down first period. And we are knotted at 0. Chances at both ends. We'll be back with stats and second period action in about 15 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Bridgewater Ice Arena. We are here with Skyhawk Vision on necfrontrow.com. My name is Brendan Locke. We are scoreless after one period. The Stonehill Skyhawks looking to get their first win of the year against the Lindenwood Lions. Face-off underway, and Ireland back to chase that. In the far corner, trying to get it out is Schreifels. Eventually, it falls to Schweniger, who got knocked off there by Zielke. And Zielke recollects there. Price got knocked off by Ireland. It tried to spoon it over to Schreifels, but it falls to Zielke on his drive, smothered there by Milan. Shots in that period were 7-6 Lindenwood. So a bit more evenly matched than the first game last night. Stonehill able to eventually win that out. Katie flipped it in. Prouty got one off of him. Centering pass in front. They score! Kyle Heath. It was a puck battle won below the goal line and a centering pass out in front. Galante won it and it fell directly to Heath. He picked the corner. 1-0 Skyhawks. That is Heath's first goal of the season. And the Skyhawks lead. Price able to win that back in the neutral zone. Kuzma trying to ward off Gaudette. And Terteshny trying to gouge that free. No whistle from the referee, but the puck's not moving. It eventually falls and trying the centering pass. The PA announcer had me worried for a second that the goal went to Cameron Collins, but I had it right the whole time. Kyle Heath, junior out of West Bridgewater, Mass. Minute 50 into the second period, Stonehill leads 1-0. Allard able to win the faceoff, but there's a chance in front, kicked away by Burnham. And we have a penalty on Stonehill. I believe that's on Hunter Hastings. And Lindenwood will head to the power play. Hastings called for a hit from behind. You can see the replay there. Hastings said he turned into the hit, but the referee disagreed, and Lindenwood power play will go back to work. Price walking the line, snapping it over to Mercier. Centering pass couldn't connect. Excuse me, not Mercier, that's Schmeidlin. And Stonehill able to clear. Southgate will pick it up with speed and leave it for Price. Here's Mercier. Mercier rims it around for Southgate. Took a weird hop off the boards. Price walks in. His drive smothered by Milan. Lindenwood converting at 15% on the year on the power play. Stonehill penalty kill 70%. Sturzer won that back to Schmeidlin. He laid it off for Price. Price looks for an option, gives it down low to Mercier. Back return pass to Price. Schmeidlin with a drive, blocked by Galante. Schmeidlin able to keep that in. Price along that left dot, gives it down low, bounced off of Mercier's stick, and eventually falls to Sturzner. Southgate had his path blocked, and a potential break the other way for the Skyhawks. Heath was looking in the middle for Galante, but if the Lions move quickly, potential too many men on the ice there for the Skyhawks. They got it all figured out. Schmeidlin with a drive, and he rang it off the crossbar. That was a grade A chance for Patrick Schmeidlin, the freshman out of Culver, Indiana. And you can see him in that trailer position, found him perfectly. And he beat Milan, just couldn't get it low enough, and it rang off the crossbar. 40 seconds remaining on the hit from behind call. And there's a drive that was tipped, saved away by Milan, and eventually cleared. Back to get that is Yakimachuk. He spins away. and Gagnon will settle it down. Zilke gains the line and sends it to Jeffers, who rims it around. Gagnon there waiting for it. He's got Yakimachuk in the middle, but he passed that opportunity up and gives it to Zilke, who eventually does find Yakimachuk. Zilke at the top of the circle, giving it down low. 5 seconds left on the call. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Yakimachuk giving down low. Gagnon holds along the line. Jeffers with a turnaround shot. Puck was bouncing in the slot, fell to Gagnon. He was able to settle it down. And Gagnon will go around the world looking backdoor, eventually able to get it knocked out away. Ron's kept that puck in. Ron's snapped it over to Price, who switches to his backhand and will go down low. He got it poked away. And Karlstrom attempting to get it out. Ireland eventually does. Schweniger, he's got Ronayne in the middle. Schweniger with the puck. He'll go with the wraparound attempt and unable to get a real shot away. As a potential turnover in the Lindenwood end, puck bouncing around. There's a Lindenwood skater without a stick. It's Gagnon. Potential 5-on-4. Looking back door for Terteshny. And a good stick there by Conquest. Harassing on the way back. Kept in again by Katie. Eventually out to Jeffers in the neutral zone. And he finds Kuzma, who will circle back in his own end and wait for Lindenwood to get a change. Up to Price, who's able to win it off of the boards, and in where Kuzma will get it along that far corner. One up to Anderson, who will walk the line and eventually find Southgate with a drive. That shot missed the net. And we have a delayed call here. Burnham to the bench. Another penalty on the Skyhawks, and Lindenwood to the power play upcoming. Zielke, there's a drive that was blocked by drive from Rushinsky that was blocked. So we will see who will head to the box. I believe it's Cam Gaudet. It is not Cam Gaudet. It is Alexander Tertishny. And the AIC transfer will head to the box. We'll wait for an announcement on the call. I think it happened behind the play. But Price will play a 1-2 with Schmeidlin. Given down low, Anderson with Sturzer with a drive. That was fought away by Milan. Eventually cleared. Ireland races to that puck. Backhanded along by Burnham, and Price will settle it down. Southgate gains the line and sends it up to Mercier. That bounced off of Schmeidlin's stick. And Price will retreat into his own end. Schmeidlin along the left wing, snapping it around, racing to it is Sturzer. He collides there. And the Lions are eventually able to set up a power play. It bounced off of Southgate. There's a drive from Price. Mercier was waiting on the doorstep, but bounced over his stick. Southgate spins away from the pressure, but eventually falls to Mercier. Bank pass to Southgate. Schmeidlin holds. Goes back to Southgate, looking back door. Schmeidlin was waiting there, but the pass didn't get to him. Price walking the line with Schmeidlin. Eventually, they switch, give down low to Mercier. Back up to Schmeidlin, and they're snapping around the outside. Stonehill doing a good job keeping everything on the outside. Schmeidlin giving down low to Mercier. And eventually back up. Price holds, looking for a tip. Turnaround shot from Mercier. Couldn't get through. Price able to pinch, but it got knocked by him. Dragging that free, or at least attempting to, was Hastings. And that is a too many men on the ice call with 5 seconds on the Tertishny penalty. So it will be 5 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey. We'll see who will serve the penalty. Still need someone to serve. It will be Kyle Jeffers. As you can see, the 6 men on the ice. And so Stonehill will have a face-off or a power play shortly after this face-off. They are converting at 10% for the year. And we are officially beginning the Lindenwood penalty kill, and it starts with a snap-in, and Augie able to kill a little bit of time with 20 seconds gone on the too many men on the ice call. Tertishny snaps it over to Tripp, looking in the middle. It eventually gets over to Schweniger, who will hold at the top of the circle and finds Tripp. Tripp with a drive, blocked. There's a second chance, eventually over to Schweniger, up to Tripp. Schweniger holds at the top of the circle, gives it down low to Ireland. Schweniger at the dot, tried to play a 1-2 with Ireland. Tripp walks the line, left-handed shot, looking for a shooting lane. Finds Ireland. His drive sticked away by Burnham. .104 on the too many men on the ice call. .11:17 on the clock. And that faceoff is won by Lindenwood, but Katie's able to shake it off of Yakimichuk. And Japchen will play a 1-2 with Schreifels. Schreifels tried to get his drive through traffic, was unable to. Russo back up to Japchen. Japchen holds, looking for an option. He's got Schreifels on the back door. Second chance opportunity. Puck is loose. Kicked away by Burnham. No whistle yet. There's a mass of bodies, and eventually the referee blows the whistle. That was another great chance for the Skyhawks. A plethora of left pad saves by Burnham on the rebound attempts, and eventually the refs blew the whistle. It got stuck behind Burnham, and he was able to lay down on it. 35 seconds remaining, 10:48 in the period. Face-off one, Japchen walking the line, looking for an option. His drive saved by Burnham. .29 seconds remaining on the too many men on the ice call. Connor Ronan to take the face-off. And it got one back to Japchen, who along the far boards. Return pass to him. He switches with LaRusso, and Schreifels will switch with him. Japchen with a drive, and that missed the net. Schreifels unable to keep that in. Racing to it was Sturzer. And we have a delayed penalty. Stonehill, and I think it's an offsides call there, but heading to the box, it will be 5 seconds of 5-on-3 before another. That was Sturzer. Excuse me, that is Augie, who got collided with Schreifels. So it's 5 seconds of 5-on-3. Jeffers will be out of the box in 5 seconds. And it gets one over to Ireland. And we are back to 5-on-4. That's a drive that was blocked away. Schweniger along the far boards. 5-on-4, but 1:45 of it up to Tripp, who switches with Schweniger at the top of the circle, and it bounced off of Schweniger's stick. Schweniger eventually giving it up to Tripp, who retreats all the way back to his own net, and with 1:25 remaining on the power play, Stonehill will have to go the full length of the ice. Nice 1-2 there with Tripp, finding Terteshny in the middle, and his drive hits the protective netting. And .934 remaining in the period, 1:16 on the Skyhawk power play. That got one up to LaRusso. He got stuck behind, but eventually up to Japchen, who was able to keep it in. Tried to go win it down to Galante, but LaRusso able to keep that puck in, and a nicely read pass there by Sturzer. One back out to Japchen at his own blue line. 55 seconds remaining on the power play. This is in the middle, finding LaRusso, his drive blocked. And Stonehill with another great chance there. But a nice block by Anderson. That got cleared with 35 seconds. So potentially one last rush for the Skyhawks, and it will be Greg Japchen to get things going. LaRusso got it poked along. Zielke's the first one to it. Japchen the only man back. His drive blocked. Yakimachuk on the rebound. It jumped over him. It got kept in by Southgate. Looked like Stonehill was looking to move quickly. Southgate just killing time, and that should just about do it. Eventually finds Ron's, and we are back to 5-on-5. Some chances for the Skyhawks, but Zielke able to kill enough time on that rush, and that should do it. So we're back to 5-on-5. Again, 1-0 Skyhawks, just over halfway into the game. There's Heath, the goal scorer, able to establish a little bit of a forecheck. Stepping down and keeping the puck in is Katie. Katie behind the net, tried to flip it to himself. He was able to, cutting to the middle. His drive got blocked over the net. Rons won it over to Yakimachuk. Yakimachuk sent it in the middle. It got stuck in Zielke's skates. One directly out. Stepping into a drive. Fought off by Burnham. That drive from Tripp. And that will be the media timeout. So, just over halfway into the game, 1-0 Skyhawks looking for their first win of the year. We'll be back in a moment.
At Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine, you'll find sports medicine care driven by research and determination. Top specialists who understand your athletic dreams, goals, and the need to get back to them. Together, we'll write your comeback story. Start your comeback story today.
At Stonehill College, an education is more than a degree. It's a source of positive change. Change that helps students develop into compassionate leaders. Leaders with strong minds and even stronger hearts, driving the changes that are coming and making sure no one is left behind. Strong minds, stronger hearts. That's what defines a Stonehill education.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Bridgewater Ice Arena, where the Stonehill Skyhawks lead the Lindenwood Lions by a score of 1-0 off of a goal by Kyle Heath. That got one up to Price, where he kept that in the offensive zone. And eventually one out to Schreifels, cutting to the middle. His drive kicked away by Burnham. Kept in there by Terteshny. He got knocked off by Conquest. Clean hit Terteshny on the pinch down, but he's got no support. Kuzma eventually falls to Galante. He spins away, looks for Terteshny up top, and he finds him, but it bounced off of his stick, backhanded to Gaudet. A streaking Galante through the neutral zone, and he got brought down. Their Stonehill bench looking for a call. They didn't get it. I think Galante tripped on his own feet, and that is a penalty on... Is it Kyle Heath? There's a big hit right in front of the referee, and someone is down for the Lions. And Galante just knocked down Rushinsky away from the puck. We'll see if anything comes of that. There's a lot of chirping back and forth. And going to receive medical attention. I haven't gotten a number on who that is in the corner. It's number 14, Willicke, Colton Willicke, the sophomore out of Grenta, Nebraska. And he still hasn't gotten up. He's on one name. We will be taking a short break and come back. We'll hope Willicke's okay and come back with some information if we have it.
At Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine, you'll find sports medicine care driven by research and determination. Top specialists who understand your athletic dreams, goals, and the need to get back to them. Together, we'll write your comeback story. Start your comeback story today.
At Stonehill College, an education is more than a degree. It's a source of positive change. Change that helps students develop into compassionate leaders. Leaders with strong minds and even stronger hearts, driving the changes that are coming and making sure no one is left behind. Strong minds, stronger hearts. That's what defines a Stonehill education.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are halfway through the second period, and Lindenwood will head to the power play off of a Jake Cady hit, and they score! Aiden Yakimachuk off of a tipped drive, and just like that, it is 1-1. Stonehill had a lot of momentum on their side. Yakimachuk's drive got tipped. It may have been tipped by 13, Augie. We'll see who they give credit to, but more importantly for Stonehill, Jake Cady got kicked out of the game for his hit on Connor Willicke, so they remain on the penalty kill. It's a 5-minute major and an ejection for Willicke. The official call is a hit to the head on Cady, and Jack Schmelligan will head to the box to serve the penalty. So he's already in the box, so 4:33 remaining on the major penalty to Cady, who is kicked out, and Stonehill has to survive 5-on-4 for over 4 minutes. That gets cleared down. Southgate to carry with Price. Gaining the line and directly up to Schmedlin. Over to Price. They'll play a D-to-D. And he lost the puck. Price circles back into his own end. The Lindenwood power play was 0 for 4 on the day heading into this major, but they converted about 7 seconds in, so technically 1 for 5 on the day, but the major's still in place. 1 up to Price, who will walk the line looking for a shooting lane. He didn't have it. Mercier with a turnaround drive, and that got slapped around by Southgate. One up to Schmeidlin, who walks in at the top of the circle, and eventually cleared there by Roning. 4:40 on the game clock, remaining in the period. 3:10 on the Katy game misconduct for a hit to the head. That got rimmed out and cleared again. Jake Katy kicked out for a game misconduct hit to the head. Katy, the junior from Raynham, Mass. And Tabor Academy down in Marion. And this gets one up to Jeffers along the wing. Zilke will hold on line, and one over to Yakimachuk, the goal scorer. Down to Gagnon, and up to Zilke. Yakimachuk will step in and look to drive. He eventually finds Jeffers, centering pass, and save there by Milan. 2:17 left on the penalty, 3:44 in the game. Lindenwood's power play converting just at 15% for the year, so Stonehill looking to escape and get into the third period at a 1-1 game. Zilke passed up the pass to Zach Machuk, and a drive by Gagnon was stopped. Gagnon against Schreifels. Face-off won by Gagnon. Yakimachuk walking in, finds Jeffers. Turnaround shot blocked behind the net. Eventually up. There's a long drive that was padded away by Milan. And back up to Gagnon. It bounced over his stick, turning away from the pressure of Zilke. And right in front of the Lindenwood bench, it got played into the Lindenwood bench. Under 2 minutes left on the Katy game misconduct. Face off in the neutral zone, cleared down to Burnham. And Price will reset. In the neutral zone, spinning away is Schmeidlin. He'll look to get some speed going and lay it off for Price. Southgate. Sturzer along the wing, up to Schmeidlin. One-two with Price. They pass back and forth. And eventually kept in the zone by Schmeidlin. Along the blue line, Price will hold. Price looking for a shooting lane, unable to find one. Good pressure here from the Stonehill penalty kill. Schmeidlin at the top of the circle, won it over the Price, couldn't get the one-timer off. Price looks for an option. He switches with Schmeidlin, looking back door. Southgate with a drive, tipped away. Mercier at the top of the circle, looking for Southgate, unable to find it. Walking the line is Schmeidlin, back down to Southgate, up to Price. His drive just by the glove of, and eventually one out. Potential breakaway, but it will be an offsides on Galante. Looking to move quickly. They find Sturzer. Potential 2-on-1. He's got a man in the middle, and he couldn't get the pass off. Back to 5-on-5. And that got cleared down for an icing. with 1:14 on the clock. Stonehill survives the 5-minute major, although they are down a man for the game as Katie hits the showers early, but we are at 1-1 with 1:14 on the clock. That got kept in, and there's a drive that was nearly tipped in by Kuzma. Behind the net, one up to Prouty, who holds and eventually finds Wilkie in the middle. Wilkie was the man who got hurt on that Katie hit. He's back out. First we've seen of him since the hit. Wilkie wins it up, and here he is with the puck spinning away. Turnaround shot sent up into the netting. And Wilkie with some chirping with Gaudette. "46 seconds." That got one back to Prouty. His drive misses the net. Anderson stepping down on defense. Wilkie steps in for him. Knocking into the boards is Kuzma. Anderson, and we have another whistle. It's a high stick. And that will be a neutral zone face-off with 30 seconds remaining. Kuzma trying to get some speed, cutting through the neutral zone. And Schreifels is back to retrieve that with 15 seconds. He tried to go with the cross-corner dump in, but it jumped over Kuzma's stick. And Japchen sent it directly up to Price. And Price will just be content with taking it to the locker room. And we are 1-1 after 2 periods. Stonehill looking for their Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to Bridgewater Ice Arena, where the Stonehill Hawks are tied with the Lindenwood Lions. It is 1-1 after 40 minutes of play, and we are back underway. Skyhawks looking for their first win of the year. Lindenwood looking for their 7th. And the Stonehill is down a man after Jake Cady got kicked out for a hit to the head. So they are short one forward, but hanging in. They survived a 5-minute misconduct. And with 19:35 on the clock, they have an offensive zone faceoff. And Juan Tripp walks the line. It got blocked away by Augie. Ron's racing to that puck with Galante, and Galante beat him, but eventually Price ends up with it, and through the neutral zone, this is Sturzer. Zielke with a centering drive, and it got tipped on by Sturzer, and a nice pad save out of Milan. Sturzer tried cutting to the middle. Nice back check by Roynain, and Tripp will settle things down. Turnover in his own end. Conquest along the near boards, pivots, looks in the middle. He got sticked away. Maintaining possession, though, he eventually finds Prouty up top and directly into the chest of Milan. Stonehill trying to avoid being the first team in NCAA Division I history to go 0-30. The previous closest was the 1998 St. Lawrence team that, as here's a drive for Yamachuk, and that got whizzed over the crossbar. Prouty with a drive blocked in the middle, and Stonehill coming back the other way, got sent over in a Pineo. Off-angle drive, blockered into the corner. LaRusso, he got brought down behind the net. Stonehill looking for a call, and they didn't get it. Yakimachuk tried to gouge that free. Prouty eventually able to backhand it up, but a nice pinch there. Able to keep it in is Tertishny, and eventually settled down there by Conquest. Gagnon, he got knocked down there after he gained the line. He sends it over to Price. And banked up, looking for Southgate in the middle. Unable to, but fanning on that. It falls to Schreifels. His drive through the traffic got blocked. It fell back to Schreifels, and Lindenwood will head to the power play with 17:25 remaining in the game. I think it's a mouth guard. And heading to the box is Ryan King. For Stonehill, he got called for tripping, and carrying this is Gagnon. One up to Yakimachuk. He has the lone goal for the Lions. Zielke walks in, decides to give it down low to Gagnon. Zielke holds, and over to Yakimachuk. Down low to Jeffers. Top of the circle. Yakimachuk, his drive, saved away by Milan. Yakimachuk walking the line. He switched with Jeffers down low. Eventually sends it back up to him. He's got Zielke on his wing. He sends it over to him. And puck falls to Jeffers in the corner. Gagnon poked it back to Jeffers. 1 minute gone on the King tripping call. Yakimachuk looking for a shooting lane. Tried to set up Jeffers with a one-timer. His drive missed the net. And knocking Zielke off of the puck was Galante. Yakimachuk looking to move quickly. He eventually does find Zielke. Half change for Stonehill. Defenseman stayed on the ice. Tired legs over a minute and 30 on the ice. Jeffers sends it directly up to Price. His drive tipped over the net. Mercier battling in the corner there. Hastings able to gouge it free, forcing Price to retreat. And with 15 seconds left, Price lays it off for Prouty. Prouty dragging to the middle and taking down Hastings, and that got sent up into the stands, and we'll have a whistle with 2 seconds remaining on the Ryan King tripping call. Kuzma able to win the faceoff down to Conquest. We're back to 5-on-5. Conquest circles around, going around the world. He retreats back to his blue line and able to find Anderson in the opposite corner. Snap it directly back up to Conquest. Kuzma tried to find Conquest. Battle along the boards with Ireland. Kuzma gets knocked into the boards by Schweniger, and they fight for it there. Wilkie couldn't handle it, and Ireland tried to poke it by Prouty, and that will be a penalty on, I believe, Prouty. Frank Ireland was slow to get up. Ireland tried the little self-bank pass, and they called interference on Prouty there. So this Stonehill power play will get back to work. 14:50 on the clock. Frank Ireland, the leading goal scorer for the Skyhawks, not on the ice right now, and that got sent down to Milan. And Japchen will get things started for him. Galante gaining the line, sending it in. 3 Skyhawks in the corner. Eventually up to Japchen and over to LaRusso. Japchen finds LaRusso, and he goes bar down. Jake LaRusso converts on the power play, and the Skyhawks lead. Schreifels with a cross-ice pass, and just ripping it is Jake LaRusso, the freshman out of Colts Neck, New Jersey, and the Northeast Generals. And the Skyhawks lead with under 15 minutes remaining. That is LaRusso's second goal of the year. And that got a bouncing puck in front for Allard. Eventually got settled. Mercier, and I believe we have a hand pass with 13:50 on the clock. That got sent up, and Mercier sent that to himself. So the Skyhawks we have a man. Jaden Mercier is headed to the box. It will be another Skyhawks power play. We didn't get word on what the call is. We're going to have to wait for the PA announcer. But the Skyhawks power play goes back to work shortly after scoring their first of the game. They're 1 for 3. Ireland with a drive. Second chance for Cherchesny. Puck is loose in front, and it got turned away to the corner. Delay of game is the call coming back the other way. This is Allard. His drive misses the net. So Mercier headed to the box, or is in the box for a delay of game call, and with 1:30, Tripp walking the line, playing a 1-2, as there's a drive that didn't get through by Terteshny. Schweniger waiting on the far boards, excuse me. Schweniger will walk it around, finding Terteshny, set up drive by Tripp, and that shot missed the net. Schweniger trying to pinch down, Terteshny able to keep it in. He slaps it over to Tripp. There's a chance, and it rang off the goalpost. Tripp back over to Ireland. Ireland will switch with Tripp. Looking back door, smart stick by Allard and cleared down with 45 seconds remaining on the power play. 12:30 left in the final period. Carrying with speed, trying to play a 1-2 with LaRusso. LaRusso's able to keep that puck in. Stonehill bench wants another call. They didn't get it. 20 seconds remaining on the power play. Japchen gains the line and spins away. He finds down low Ronan. And back up to Japchen. We're about to go back to 5-on-5. And there's a drive from Ronan. That shot didn't get through the traffic. Stepping down with Schreifels. And fresh out of the box, Mercier is able to clear it back to Japchen. Schreifels struggled with that, getting harassed by Mercier. Really causing an issue for Schreifels. Schreifels finally able to get free. And back into the Lindenwood end is Price. But a turnover in his own end. This is Heath. Heath looking for an option. He had Tripp coming down to switch with him, but it's a turnover and a kick along to Price. Potential 3-on-1. He's got Gagnon in the middle, and a nice defensive play there by Karlstrom to break up the pass. Keeping that alive and eventually cleared out to Brendan Rons. Price sends it up. Here's Gagnon on the right wing. Got a man in the middle, and a nice save there by Milan. 10:44 on the clock. And Prouty, offensive zone draw, won by Lindenwood. Yakimachuk couldn't get his shot through. It got one over to Jeffers, who goes with the cross-corner dump in. Yakimachuk chasing that down. Schmeidlin was unable to get to it. Stonehill just goes glassing out. Back to retrieve it is Prouty. And Yakimachuk looked to get things moving through the neutral zone. Allard back over to Jeffers, centering pass to Allard. And they collide into the Stonehill net, and that will be a whistle with 10:14 on the clock. Stonehill trying to hang on for their first win of the year. Neutral zone draw. Conquest and Galante go back and forth, and Galante does not want to take a bad penalty here. You don't want to give Lindenwood a freebie. They do. So, face-off won by Lindenwood. It falls to Galante. He sends it glassing out, and Price will settle it down. Carrying this is Rons. He'll snap it in. First one to that is Karlstrom, and that got sent into the stands and will be a media timeout. We will not have immediate timeout. We are staying with the play here as the Stonehill clearance was not ruled. So 9:54 on the clock, and an offensive zone draw for Kuzma. And spinning away from the pressure is Manion. That got sent down, and icing is waved off. Prouty. Yakimachuk gains the line and sends it in. Davies sent that through the middle. Ireland racing to that with Yakimachuk. He's got Streifels in the middle. Eventually falls to Streifels, looking in the middle for Ireland, but Ireland wasn't there yet. Conquest holds through the neutral zone, eventually snaps it to Prouty, who gains the line. His drive kicked away by Milan. It falls back to Ireland. Tried to bank it up to Streifels, wasn't able to. Wilkie will retrieve that, and Price will get things going with speed. The former Arizona State commit streaking down the right wing. Tried to drag to the middle, and Pineo was in there to break it up. Roynane tried to cut to the middle, sticked away there by Burnham. Snapped into the opposite corner by Terteshny, and that will be Terteshny was in his own end, so it will be a D-zone face-off for the Skyhawks. 8:41 on the clock. They battle along the slot. It eventually falls to Heath. And Yakimachuk goes back to retrieve that. Lindenwood bench looking for an icing. They didn't get it. And that got sent in where Augie tried to spoon it off of Gaudette. Sturzner along the near boards. Gaudette tried to fight for a free. Terteshny gives it right up to Yakimachuk. And Sturzner through the neutral zone. Prouty stepping up. And along the right wing, tried to cut in. Terteshny goes behind his own net. Terteshny battling there with Augie along the far boards, receiving some support from Hastings. Gaudette is there as well. And I think we might have a whistle. Eventually gets spoon free. King unable to clear it past Prouty along the near boards, and I think that'll be a hand pass. It is. And that will be the media timeout. So we will take a short break. 7:33 on the clock. Stonehill looking for their first win of the year.
At Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine, you'll find sports medicine care driven by research and determination. Top specialists who understand your athletic dreams, goals, and the need to get back to them. Together, we'll write your comeback story. Start your comeback story today.
At Stonehill College, an education is more than a degree. It's a source of positive change. Change that helps students develop into compassionate leaders. Leaders with strong minds and even stronger hearts, driving the changes that are coming and making sure no one is left behind. Strong minds, stronger hearts. That's what defines a Stonehill education.
Back to Bridgewater Ice Arena, where the Stonehill Skyhawks are looking for their first win of the year. But Lindenwood is on the power play as Ryan King headed to the box for a delay of game, closing his hand on the puck. Lindenwood with a chance to even up the game as Gagnon's shot gets tipped up into the netting. So 2 minutes for the Lions to look to tie this up. 7:20 remaining in the game. Allard able to win the faceoff. Back to Zielke. He's got Gagnon on the right wing. Gagnon will walk in. That shot got tipped up into the netting as well. .142 on the King delay of game. Here is Yakimichuk, the lone goal scorer for the Lions. He switches with Jeffers. Jeffers on his backhand sends it to Gagnon, and that shot tipped into the netting again. Cam Mannion doing the dirty work that time, and 1:30 remaining. Zielke racing to that. Yakimichuk retreats back. And a nice play there by Galante, keeping the pressure on and sending it in. Lions have to go the full length of the ice. Yakimichuk eventually over to Gagnon. Up to Mercier. Down low, playing a 1-2, up to Yakimichuk. Yakimichuk looking for an angle. Mercier, back to Yakimichuk. Mercier. Yakimichuk with a drive, tipped just wide. Prouty wins it up, and a smart stick there by Galante goes all the way back, and Yakimichuk with 30 seconds remaining will take it behind his own net. One last rush for the Lions. Able to set up. They have Price, and it jumped off a Prouty stick. 15 seconds remaining of the 5-on-4 advantage. Setting up in the middle. Sturzer with a drive. Prouty steps into one, looking in the middle. Turnaround shot by Southgate. The puck is loose and eventually covered there by Milan. Three seconds remaining before we're back to 5-on-5. 5:34 in the game. Skyhawks trying to hang on. Skyhawks trying to avoid being the first team in NCAA history, NCAA Division I history, to go 0-30. The next closest was the 1998 St. Lawrence team, who pulled off a 1-0 victory over ranked Western Michigan in their final game of the year. And we are back to 5-on-5. So a lot of things up in the air for the Skyhawks as Conquest runs down the right wing. Eventually falls back to him on his backhand. He got knocked into the corner, and that gets sent down. Will it be an icing? It will be. So Skyhawks unable to change, but their first line is still out. Schweniger and Kuzma to take. Won by Schweniger. Controlled, got that. Tertishny along the wing. It got sent out, and Schweniger tried the stretch pass for Ireland. Back to play that was Burnham. Wilkie. Carrying this is Rons. Gaining the line, and he fanned on the dump in, and he lost an edge. Looks like he tried to go for a change. Eventually got sent over to Gaudet, who got banged into in the corner. Roynain is there with Tripp up top. There's a drive that got sent into the corner. Galante. Wilkie will settle it, and Rons will carry it himself. 4:15 remaining on the clock. And Rons will hold and wait for Lindenwood to set up. Eventually they do, but it bounced off of Sturzner. And Tripp will hold, but he got knocked off by Augie. Augie below the goal line, receiving some support there by Sturzner. Stepping down is Yakimachuk. He eventually finds Augie up to Zilke. Zilke sends it back out to Prouty in the neutral zone. Prouty unable to get it deep as Japchen was waiting for it there. Failed clearance. Yakimachuk able to keep it alive. And Sturzner along the Zamboni doors. Centering pass out in front. Prouty at the top of the circle. Sends it for Zielke and a chance the other way. LaRusso. He's in all alone. He scores! Is that the moment? Jake LaRusso. 3-1 Skyhawks. It's a poke free by LaRusso, and he just walks in on his forehand. He throws Burnham with that little move. And the Skyhawks are 3-11 away from their first win of the season. Lindenwood in all-out mode. They have to think about pulling Burnham soon. Under 3 minutes remaining. We're going to take one last look at this LaRusso goal. Streaking in all alone, and just that little stick handle froze Burnham enough. Turnaround shot saved by Milan. Sent into the middle, spinning Milan around, and some pushing and shoving in Stills, but Milan lost his stick. The net is empty. Trent Burnham has been pulled. It's a 6-on-5 with 2:36 on the clock. They need 2 goals in 2:36. Stonehill looking for their first Division I win ever. Cleared into the neutral zone. Prouty. He'll circle away and gain the line. Sent in, and an awkward glove there. Avoiding the short hop out to get it was Milan. 2:21 on the clock. Those seconds ticking down must feel like hours for the Skyhawks. Allard against Schweniger. Won by Schweniger. Sent out, but kept in the Stonehill end. Gagnon backhanded it along for Southgate. Allard is there. Tried to get it to Gagnon, but he couldn't. That gets sent out, and it will be an icing. Schreiffel's unable to beat that icing out, so the Stonehill 5 will remain on the ice. Fresh 6 skaters for the Lindenwood Lions. Zielke to take, and he doesn't win it, but it got kept in, and Price will walk along the wing. Zielke looking in the middle, unable to get the pass through. Jeffers won it back to Gaudette. Gaudette goes glassing out. Gaudette, a really reliable defenseman for the Skyhawks right now. The Northeastern transfer has been fantastic all night. Tripp couldn't handle that. It got one back out to Streifels. Augie along the right wing. Price streaking in the middle. Shot for a rebound. Deflected into the netting with 1:32 on the clock. .132 on the clocks. Lindenwood needs 2 goals. This is not a position that Stonehill finds themselves in. Puck is loose in front. It's a chance. There's no whistle yet. There's a scramble for it in front, and they score! David Gagnon got it off of the scramble in front. Dylan Milan unable to locate the puck off of the face-off. There was a scramble for it in front off of the shot from Gagnon. And it eventually fell. Southgate able to jam that puck free, and before the net moved, Milan arguing that the net moved before, Frank Ireland is speaking to the officials in front of the scorer's tent, but the goal will count. And now the Lindenwood Lions need 1 goal to tie this game up. 1:25 on the clock. Burnham returns to the net. Yakimichuk in front of the penalty benches. Couldn't gouge that free. It got sent over to Mercier. Burnham returns to the bench. It's a 6-on-5. Stonehill has to hang on for 1:05. Gagnon kept that puck in. It will be a long 1 minute for the Skyhawks. Along the near boards, Prouty sending it up top. Allard with a drive. That block. Second chance opportunity. The puck is loose. It's skittered in front of the crease. Gagnon with a turnaround drive, and it missed the net. Prouty stepping down, and that got sent down at the empty net. Will be a goal as well. Galante! It's 4-2. 38 seconds left. The Stonehill Skyhawks lead 4-2. Galante with the full ice heave, and he got the roll. Stonehill 38 seconds away from their first win in Division 1. Schweniger to take the face-off against Kuzma. Gaudette back to retrieve it. Going glassing out, and he does. It got played down to Burnham. Burnham plays it directly up to Anderson in the neutral zone. There's 25 seconds left. Streifels will retreat back to his own end. 20 seconds left. Plays it to Gaudette. And in the neutral zone, Schweniger couldn't handle it. Ireland flips it in. Kept at the blue line, but eventually down to Ireland. Ireland with a chance. He misses the net. 5 seconds left. And that will do it. The Stonehill Skyhawks have their first Division I win. Can you believe it? The Stonehill Skyhawks get their first Division I win. Unbelievable. They get a standing ovation on their way out. What a night at the Bridgewater Ice Arena. Stonehill over Lindenwood 4-2. You heard that correctly. Stonehill over Lindenwood. Their first Division I win. That will do it for us.